Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first Thursday full county board meeting ever on this January 14th, 2021. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll have the invocation by Member Solomon. Please rise.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Heavenly Father, we ask you to preside over this meeting. Even if we have different opinions, give us the unity of spirit. Help us to each listen politely as others share their points of view. Help us to work as a unified team in combining ideas for a greater outcome. Help us to work as a whole rather than individuals trying to promote our own agenda. May we have a spirit of camaraderie in this room and work together on our shared mission. Please guide our first responders, our healthcare workers, doctors, and nurses as we fight this terrible virus. Keep them safe. Also, please protect our law enforcement and those in service to this great country. All this we ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Morlock, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Val Lehman.
Present.
Randall Martin.
Present.
Catherine Metzger.
Present.
Susan Schaefer.
Here.
Logan Smith.
Here.
James Solner.
Here.
Gerald Thompson.
Present.
Shana Wachinski.
Here.
Benjamin Webb.
Present.
George Wendt.
Present.
Lori Woolrath.
Here.
Josh Burnett.
Present.
Hannah Beer.
Present.
Lindsay Bloomfield.
Present.
Sharon Chung.
Present.
Leah Klein.
Present.
Chuck Erickson.
Present.
William John Friedrich.
Present.
Elizabeth Johnston.
Here.
And Chairman McIntyre.
Here, we have all 20 members present, no one absent. You have a quorum. And we'll move on to item 5, appearance by members of the public and county employees. Remember, this is a new place for on our agenda because it says in reference to anyone who was speaking on the agenda items. There was no one that applied to speak to that tonight. So I'll move on to the consent agenda that you have before you. There's proceedings of the county board for December 7th, 2020 and December 15th of 2020. And I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda at this time. Motion by member Chung.
No, Mr. Chairman, I would like to remove an item from the consent agenda to be moved to the action item for the Justice Committee. It's item E3C, please.
Item E, consent agenda
3C.
3C. Request approval of a lease agreement between Hope Pregnancy Center and McLean County for the space located on the second floor of 2002 North Main Street in Pontiac. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you.
Pages 76 and 77, and that will be addressed then during the report from the Justice Committee.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Member Erickson?
I'd like to move item E1C off the consent agenda.
E1C, records, okay. The letter of intent for the ground sublease for real estate will also be removed. And that will go to executive committee, member Solner. E1C. Anyone else? Member Woolrath.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to remove item 6E2A.
Item 6. Okay. 6E2A, Finance Committee.
Yes.
Is that correct? Request approval of amendment to full-time equivalent positions for the health fund. E, okay, and that will go to Finance Committee. Member Metzger, you got that one? Okay, thank you. Anyone else? If not, I'm still entertaining a motion to approve the rest of this consent agenda. Motion by Member Smith, second by Member Bloomfield. Any other questions, discussion? If not, then I'll call for a roll call vote.
Member Lehman,
Yes.
Member Martin,
Yes.
Member Metzger,
Yes.
Member Schaefer,
Yes.
Member Smith,
Yes.
Member Soldner,
Yes.
Member Thompson,
Yes.
Member Wachinski,
Yes.
Member Webb,
Yes. Yes.
Member Went,
Yes.
Member Woolrab,
Yes.
Member Barnett,
Yes.
Member Beer, it looks like she might be delayed. Yes, okay,
Just give it a
thank you.
thumbs up.
Yep. Member Bloomfield,
Yes.
Member Chung,
Yes.
Member Klein,
Yes.
Member Erickson,
Yes.
Member Friedrich,
Yes.
Member Johnston,
Yes.
Chairman McIntyre, will you be voting?
Yes, that's 20 yes votes, 0 no votes on the proposal for the pass of the consent agenda as adjusted with 3 items pulled off. You'll next go to item D on the consent agenda, which is a transfer ordinance, which requires a 2/3 vote. You can find that on page 36. I need to know if there is anyone that wants a dissenting vote for our transfer ordinance to be recorded. If not, then I'll consider item D, the transfer ordinance passing unanimously in as part of the consent agenda. And we'll move on next to, we have no resolutions or congratulations, which is item G on our consent agenda. I just want you to notice that approval of the bills are now included in the consent agenda. And for tonight, for our first time before they're in the packet, we do have bills that have been reviewed by our auditor and approved for payment in the amount of $4,938,093.32. And we will include that in the consent agenda. Is there any question on that? If not, we'll consider those bills paid and approved. Next time they will be as part of your packet. So you can review those at the end of the consent agenda. And we'll move on now to the report of the standing committees. And first we'll go to our executive committee Vice Chairman Soldner. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we do have one item then. Tonight, E1C was pulled from the consent agenda. Request approval of a letter of intent for ground sublease of certain real estate improvements and improvements commonly known as the Fairview Building, located at 905 South Main Street, Normal, Illinois, between the County of McLean and the Laborers Home Development Corporation. I so move.
There's a motion by Vice Chairman Soldner. Is there a second? Second by Member Johnston. Comments, questions, or discussion? Member Erickson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a letter of intent for a ground sublease with the Laborers Home Development Corporation, an affiliate of the Laborers International Union of North America and Midwest Region, which is a private, not-for-profit developer of quality, affordable housing in underserved communities. I just want to point out that I am supporting this because a committee has looked at this and determined that at least the terms make economic sense. I would not be opposing it merely because we're entering into an agreement with an affiliate of a labor union. I think we should be careful. If we're going to start picking and choosing what contracts we're entering in, we're going to oppose them because of the entity with which we're entering the contract with. I think that creates all kinds of problems for us in the future. And so I think you'll find that when we get to the Hope Pregnancy Center item, which I will be presenting from the Justice Committee. I have a very large problem with basing a purity test on people we enter contracts with. They should be based on the economics of the contract and largely for no other reason. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, are there any other comments? Any questions? If none, then I'll call a roll call vote for item EC.
Member Lehman,
Yes.
Member Martin,
Yes.
Member Metzger,
Yes.
Member Schaefer,
Yes.
Member Smith,
Yes.
Member Soldner,
Yes.
Member Thompson,
Yes.
Member Wachinski,
Yes.
Member Webb,
Yes.
Member Wendt,
Yes.
Member Woolrab,
Yes.
Member Barnett,
Yes.
Member Beer,
Yes.
Member Bloomfield,
Yes.
Member Chung,
Yes.
Member Klein,
Yes.
Member Erickson,
Yes.
Member Friedrich,
Yes.
Member Johnston,
Yes.
Chairman McIntyre.
Yes, we have 20 yes votes, 0 no votes, and the resolution is carried. And I'll go back to Vice Chairman Soldner. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next item is 7A, 1A, request approval of an intergovernmental agreement to fund the DeWitt, Livingston, Logan, and McLean County Educational Service Region, and I so move.
There's a motion by Vice Chairman Soldner. Is there a second? Second by Member Bloomfield. Comments or questions? Discussion? If not, I'll call for a roll call vote.
Member Lehman,
Yes.
Member Martin,
Yes.
Member Metzger,
Yes.
Member Schaefer,
Yes.
Member Smith,
Yes.
Member Soldner,
Yes.
Member Thompson,
Yes.
Member Wachinski,
Yes.
Member Webb,
Yes.
Member Wendt,
Yes.
Member Woolrab,
Yes.
Member Barnett,
Yes.
Member Beer,
Yes.
Member Bloomfield,
Yes.
Member Chung,
Yes.
Member Klein,
Yes.
Member Erickson,
Yes.
Member Friedrich,
Yes.
Member Johnston,
Yes.
Chairman McIntyre.
Yes, we have 20 yes votes, 0 no votes, and the motion has carried. Member Soldner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all Executive Committee has tonight for action items. There are numerous reports in the packet, and our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes. I'd be glad to try and answer any questions.
Thank you. We'll move on now to the report of the Finance Committee, Chairman Metzger.
Yes, thank you, Chairman McIntyre. We have one item, B1A, coming off the consent agenda of E2A, and it would be the request approval of an amendment to the funded full-time equivalent positions resolution for fiscal year 2021 for Health Fund 0112, Health Department 0061, Health Promotion 0067, and I so move.
Okay, motion by Chairman Metzger. Is there a second? Second by Member Thompson. Comments, questions, or discussion? Member Woolrapp.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say that I voted against this in committee because it was apparent to me that the Board of Health had not considered this in a meeting. And from what I could find out, they had not done that. Recently, this week, though, even though it was not on their agenda as an action item, they at least did discuss it and seemed to be in favor of it. It is seemingly to me that state law provides that the Board of Health has control over their employees and the positions that are in the health department, not the county board. And so I would like to see that in the future that the Board of Health consider these positions before it comes to any committee of the county board. But nonetheless, since they seem to be in favor of it, and I know that it's necessary now to move forward with it, I am in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Woolrapp. Your comments and recommendation will be duly noted, and we will pass that on, and I will pass it on to the Chairman of the Board of Health as well. Thank you. Anyone else? If not, I'll call a roll call vote.
Member Lehman,
Yes.
Member Martin,
Yes.
Member Metzger,
Yes.
Member Schaefer,
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
Member Soldner,
Yes.
Member Thompson,
Yes.
Member Wachinski,
Yes.
Member Webb,
Yes.
Member Went,
Yes.
Member Woolrapp,
Yes.
Member Barnett.
Yes.
Member Beer.
Yes.
Member Bloomfield,
Yes.
Member Chung,
Yes.
Member Klein,
Yes.
Member Erickson,
Yes.
Member Friedrich,
Yes.
Member Johnston,
Yes.
Chairman McIntyre.
Yes. Seems like we're getting double yeses there, so we have 40 yeses and 0 no votes, and so the motion does carry. Thank you very much. Chairman Metzger, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman McIntyre. We have no other items to be presented this evening, but our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes, pages 21 through 24. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to address any of those.
Thank you. We'll move on to item C, report of our Health Committee, Chairman Schaefer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee has no items for action today, and our general report can be found on pages 2 through 8. And if I may continue, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you. As you know, the Board of Health is a governing board for the Health Department. And last week, Carla Pohl, the president of the Board of Health, reached out to me as I am the representative on that board for the county board. Well, we've had many conversations over the almost year now regarding the pandemic, and I have expressed to her the county board is ready to assist in any way, and that the county board is ready to assist in any way. She wanted to discuss some some things that the county chairman or the board could do to be helpful to the health department and to the health department administrator, Ms. McKnight, especially as we move into this next phase with vaccinations. And because they still have to maintain the contact tracing and all the other required workload. I contacted Chairman McIntyre, and there have been several more conversations, and these conversations obviously will continue. One item of note that she has requested is that if county board members have questions or concerns, to please refrain from calling or emailing Ms. McKnight and to use proper channels. And as your rep, I may be able to answer any kind of questions or concerns. Or if I can't, I can pass them along to Ms. Pohl, because she has a wealth of knowledge with her background and her experience in her job, and also with her more working with Ms. McKnight on a lot of the daily things that go on at the health department. She also wanted me to make clear that at this time, there is not a money issue. And I think that has been expressed by, I don't know if the public or what, but there's a misconception that there is a money issue here. If the Board of Health feels that the health department needs money from the county, they will ask for it, believe me, because I will ask them to ask for it if I thought they needed it. So, it's just like any other county department when it comes to that. So I just wanted to she wanted me to make that very clear. And then we also may be calling upon you in the coming weeks and months as things get ramped up for the vaccinations. So in kind of a segue, I'm getting contacted. I know you are all getting contacted because some of you have even contacted me. And I know we've been patient, we've been cooped up. We're angry, we're frustrated, we're anxious, we've been challenged in so many ways in this last year. And it's stressful for everyone. So a couple of things, we had a Board of Health meeting last night, and a couple of things that I thought that I'd like to highlight for you tonight, because of, things change very quickly in this pandemic world. So one of the things I want to make a point is that IDPH controls just about everything. And that is a real big point that I think there's a lot of misconceptions on. One of the things that we didn't, and some of you know this, and it's been reported in the news, that we were not one of the first counties to get vaccine. There were only 50 counties that got vaccine that first week. And we actually got some only because an IDPH, another county had some extra, and IDPH directed them to where to send it. And that was only 120 doses. So when you look at reports from IDPH, it might look that we are not doing as well as another county, but we're a week behind everybody if you really want to think of it that way. So I would urge you to not compare on a lot of things, because we have 102 counties and 97 different health departments. And so there's going to be a lot of variation on what is being done. And when and how much vaccine we're getting is not consistent at all. We don't know from 1 week to the next how much we're getting. Well, we get a little bit of a warning, but we don't know when it's coming. So it's very challenging for the health department to provide information. If we always got something on Monday, we could say that, but that's not always the case. So that is something that I wanted to make everyone aware of. And then also one of the things that was Ms. McKnight said was that almost 100% of the vaccines are in arms within the next week. And so we are getting it into people, and we are meeting the supply. The demand is high, but we are going through our supply very quickly. And we are able to expand as we get more. And then they're working very collaboratively with our health partners, basically the hospitals, and also with ISU. And so there's going to be some more information out later this week, because we know things are changing next week. And so the last thing I kind of want to say about this, and it wasn't talked about at the meeting last night, is that I did a little bit of simple digging, and there are over 22,000 individuals that are over 65 in McLean County that are not in long-term care facilities. And now, if you think about how many schools we have and how many teachers are in those schools and staff and whatnot, and then just start thinking about grocery stores and how many people work in grocery stores. And those are all people that are in the next phase, in 1B, which is coming up. You know, people are talking about that. Next week, we are going to get 2,200 vaccines. So I'll let you all do the math on that one. And it's not that the health department is moving slowly or any of our health provider partners are moving slowly, which I have seen on social media and the impressions that the public have. So I'm asking that all of you help your constituents when they contact you to understand that we are giving it out as fast as we can get it. And if we got more, we would give more. And so the health department should be not criticized. They've been working tirelessly. We've talked about this before, and they have been working tirelessly for almost an entire year with this. And they were going to be doing this for probably another year. So I think that we need to make sure that we lift them up and give them the credit that they deserve, and make sure that we are providing correct information and dispelling any misinformation, because there's a lot of that out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else for your report? If not, I'll move on to the report of the Justice Committee. Chairman Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Justice Committee has 2 items to present for action. The first item is item 3C, request approval of a lease agreement between Hope Pregnancy Center and County for the space located on the 2nd floor of 202 North Main Street, Pontiac, Illinois, and I so move.
Motion by Chairman Erickson and a second by Member Wendt. Are there comments or questions or discussion? Member Chung?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I brought up my concerns regarding this item last week in the Justice Committee, and I just wanted to get my vote on the record as well, and to also, I guess, explain myself in some way. I would like to reiterate that what I said last week, that my vote today in no way reflects how I feel about Miss Evans and her incredible staff at the Children's Advocacy Center. They do amazing work there, and they provide essential services to the most vulnerable of citizens in our community. And the fact that they're also able to provide these services in a satellite location in Livingston County also really speaks to the sort of ardent commitment that they have to the work that they do. But I, as a fervent supporter of reproductive rights and comprehensive sexual education, I cannot in good conscience support this lease and the payment to an organization that, while at face value looks like that they support these things, they do anything but that. So paying rent money to them, in my opinion, implies support of their mission statement, and I cannot personally support that, so I'll be voting no. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments at this time? Member Erickson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't dispute Member Chung's right to vote her conscience and to how she feels about an issue, even this particular one. But I would only say that if someone else now has an objection based for their own reasons of conscience and not because of the economics of the particular contract, we're going to have to be careful. I don't know that you can run government very well if we go through every contract and we look to see, what entity we're dealing with and who they're giving money to and who they're doing this with and who they're doing that with. So let me be clear, I don't have any problem with the vote no being that. I think every member has a right to vote their conscience. I do think it could create problems in the future if we start opposing agreements merely reasons other than the economics of the contract. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or discussion? Member Wachinski?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also reiterate what Member Chung has said. This is the third time I've voted on this in my time here at the county board, and I've voted no every time, and I'll vote no this time. I believe if this were a different kind of organization that maybe leaned a little more progressive in their issues or their comprehensive women's health care, we would not be entering into this agreement with them. Also, I question the religious aspect of it, entering into that agreement. So I'll be voting no today. And I
Okay.
hope that in the future we will work a little harder on getting a different location.
All right, thank you. Are there any other comments? Member Johnston?
Thank you, Chairman. I have concerns as well about the Hope Center. My bigger concern is the continuation of services through the CAC and the work that they do in the satellite. I don't know Pontiac that well. I don't know what resources are available. And at this time, with the contract starting on February 1st, I don't think that we have time to contract with another place to shift things. So I will be voting to support the CAC. And I would like to see if we can find another location so that this stops being an issue for future votes. So that's what I have to.
Thank you. Member Went?
Yes, I want to agree with Board Member Erickson on this. We start getting into all the different philosophies of different organizations. I disagree with certain things that union philosophy. And so I would not vote against any contract with the union because of that. And I think we're getting into an area that is really very divisive to start down this road, because there can be all kinds of minor little things that philosophically you disagree with an organization. But again, it's the economics of it. And I think that this is just getting kind of ridiculous to go down this road. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Member Schaefer?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just would like to remind people at Justice Committee that Ms. Evans was explained some of this, and that they have been looking for other locations for that. And one of the things that Member Johnston had mentioned about the services, Ms. Evans had explained that this is very convenient for many of the people that utilize these services because it's on the square. And so she did say that they have looked at it, and it is an economic issue here with that, and that the current owners were not the original owners when this contract originally started. So I think that we have to keep all of the things in mind about this issue, not just a philosophical or personal belief, and also the economics. We have to keep there's a lot of things to keep in mind with this.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Remind everyone, you can always access the goings on of our committee meetings and go back to them on YouTube. And to help you refresh your memories before you come to meetings. And sometimes I know everybody's busy, but if you can do that, that's very helpful as well. Anyone else have anything else? If not, I'll call a roll call vote. Mrs. Warlock?
Member Lehman,
No.
Member Martin,
Yes.
Member Metzger,
Yes.
Member Schaefer,
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yeah.
Member Soldner,
Yes.
Member Thompson,
Yes.
Member Wachinski,
No.
Member Webb,
Yes.
Member Went,
Yes.
Member Woolrad,
No.
Member Barnett,
Yes.
Member Beer,
No.
Member Bloomfield,
Yes.
Member Chung,
No.
Member Klein,
No.
Member Erickson,
Yes.
Member Friedrich,
Yes.
Member Johnston,
Yes.
Chairman McIntyre, will you be voting?
Yes. If my math is correct, there were 16 yes votes. I'm sorry, 14 yes votes and 6 no votes. Is that correct, Ms. Morlock?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the resolution has passed. We'll go back to the floor. Member Erickson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Justice Committee brings one more item for action, item D1A. Request approval of an intergovernmental agreement between the County of McLean, Olympia Community Unit School District 16, and the McLean County Sheriff, and I so move.
A motion by Chairman Erickson. Is there a second? Second by Member Martin. Comments or questions? Member Solmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's ironic that as we approve this continuation of this agreement, that today, I believe yesterday in the state legislature, a Chicago legislator offered a piece of legislation that would prohibit this program to continue. I understand it was tabled today, and so I believe it's not going to be able to see the light of day in this session. But again, it's something that could happen in the future, so I just wanted to make sure people were aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I will tell you, as a former educator and at the opening and the beginning of Normal Community High School and over the years, I found that the resource officer within a school premises was very helpful for many reasons, and there have been some cases, crises, that have been averted because of the presence of having them there. They provide a lot of other types of services besides just security, and so I just want to speak in support of it. I'll this time, if there are no more, anyone else have anything else to say or discussion, it's more like to call a roll call vote.
Member Lehman,
Yes.
Member Martin,
Yes.
Member Metzger,
Yes.
Member Schaefer,
Yes.
Member Smith, Member Soldner,
Yes.
Member Thompson,
Yes.
Member Wachinski,
Yes.
Member Webb,
Yes.
Member Went,
Yes.
Member Woolrad,
Yes.
Member Barnett,
Yes.
Member Beer,
Yes.
Member Bloomfield,
Yes.
Member Chung,
Yes.
Member Klein,
Yes.
Member Erickson,
Yes.
Member Friedrich,
Yes.
Member Johnston, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Oh, Member Johnston? Oh, okay, thank you. And Chairman McIntyre, will you be voting?
Yes, we have 20 yes votes, 0.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
20 yes votes, 0 no votes, and the motion has carried. Back to you, Chairman Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Justice Committee has no other items for action. Our general report can be found on pages 13 through 20 of the unapproved minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the report of the Land Use and Development Committee. Chairman Went.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Land Use and Development Committee has no action items to present to the board at this time. We have no other business for the board. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We'll move on to the report of the Property Committee. Chairman Barnett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Property Committee brings forward no items for action to the board this month. A copy of our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes packet, but I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the report of the Transportation Committee. Chairman Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Transportation has no items for action tonight. I will mention that this month we did approve a number of purchases on materials, and we were pleasantly surprised on some of the pricing. It was under quite a bit in some cases of our estimates, so we were happy with that. Other than that, I'd be glad to answer any questions. Our report can be found in the unapproved minutes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Chairman, I want to say thank you to all of you and your participation as we get up and running with all of our committees. There's going to be some very important issues and items to work on this year. And we will also have an orientation time for new members. New members, please call me if you have questions about anything as far as procedures or rules or anything that I can help you with. And I will be available for you. You have my number on the website is the same as my cell phone, so you can reach me. And we'll go on now to the report of the County Administrator, Camille Rodriguez.
Thank you, Chairman. We do not have any items from County Administration to present for action, nor do we have a general report.
Okay, thank you very much. Going to item 8 on our agenda, appearance by members of the public and county employees in reference to any item not on our agenda. That's a new rule change, as you all know. We don't have anyone who has applied to speak tonight. We'll continue to see if we have in the future. I'll go on to 9, other business and communication. I believe Member Klein requested to speak this evening. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Today, about 100 Illinois Army National Guard military police soldiers from the 404th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade's 33rd Military Police Battalion, based in Bloomington, with subordinate units in Springfield, Freeport, and Fort Sheridan, deployed to Washington, D.C. to provide security for the inauguration of our 46th president. Joining them are additional security forces airmen, including some from the 182nd Airlift Wing based in Peoria, a small medical team, and security forces from the 126th Air Refueling Wing based at Scott Air Force Base. These Illinois volunteers will join some 26,000 other National Guard members from across the nation, all engaged in the mission to ensure the peaceful transfer of power. The members of the National Guard go with the gratitude and admiration of our community. And I want to take this opportunity to express my personal appreciation for their willingness to answer the call to service. Many of these men and women live and have family in McLean County, family that worry for their safety as they worry for our country. We look forward to their safe return home and to the opportunity to thank them individually for their defense of our sacred democratic traditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Klein. Any other business or communication at this time? Member Woolrab?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The following statement is supported by members Beer, Chung, Klein, Johnston, Lehman, Smith, Wachinski, Webb, and myself. Every American should be grieving what we witnessed on January 6th, when at halls of Congress and its occupants were attacked by a murderous and destructive mob. For grief is about loss. What we lost in that attack were the lives of fellow Americans caught up in a frenzy. We lost our sense of sanctity and that of social contract. The desperate acts violated our social agreement to hold free and fair elections with a peaceful transfer of power. Mob rule attempted to trample the rule of law. Let's be clear. There is no equivalency between the mob assault on our seat of government and that of looters and common vandal. Both are reprehensible, illegal, and have no place in our society. However, the unconscionable and unpatriotic act of terror on our nation's capital, incited by elected officials sworn to uphold our Constitution, is something of a different magnitude and malignancy that no American can tolerate. We condemn it in the strongest terms. This is not the first attack on our democracy, and it likely won't be the last. The system created by our founders is holding. The checks and balances persist. More participation in the democratic, in a small d process, is the only way to have a strong and truly representative government. Regardless of our political party, we must participate and come together to protect our democracy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Both comments will be entered into our record. I also want to inform members also, like in Member Klein, in your case, and other new members, that we do have proclamations sometimes if you want to proclaim for any group, and you can submit those through me and to our office in the county administration in advance, and they can be read as well. This usually requires to be a part of our consent agenda and would require a vote in favor of. Thank you. Member Solner, I think you had your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to take this time to congratulate our Public Defender, Carla Barnes, as her new appointment to the 11th Circuit as a judge. I think it's quite a feat. I've known Carla for a while. I think it's a great choice. I was wondering if Mr. Knapp is in the room, or Mr. Spanos, if they could explain to us how our next public defender will be selected.
Mr. Spanos is here somewhere, I believe.
Mr. Knapp's approaching.
Mr. Knapp is approaching. He's on his way. Okay. One moment. I didn't realize Knapp was here. Oh, okay.
Craig, is this working?
Thank you. Mr. Knapp, you have the floor.
Hi, can everybody hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
So the next public defender will be chosen similar to the way that associate judges are chosen, by vote of the full circuit judges, and by I don't know how long that process will take. Last time when Ms. Barnes was chosen after the previous public defender resigned, it probably took if memory serves me right, 6 to 7 months. There was an interim public defender named by the chief judge, and they will take applications and go through an application process, and then the full circuit judges will vote, and Ms. Barnes will get a vote on that. So what's not clear to me, I think it's only the circuit judges in McLean County, not all of the 11th Circuit, but I might be wrong. It might be all 11th Circuit. So that's it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Knapp. Member Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd also like to make a statement as well. Democracy requires gracious winners and good losers. The rule of law is more than just a guiding principle. It is the glue that holds free citizens together as a nation. There are many who feel wronged, but it doesn't justify the actions of those who looted and burned our cities last spring and summer, no more than those who stormed the Capitol last week. Regardless of whether you feel what I've said sums it all up or misses the point, still, the rule of law must prevail, regardless of your feelings, and the world goes on, and so does our example to others by what we say and do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Member Erickson. Are there any other comments? Member Burnett.
I would just note for the board, yesterday was Vice Chairman Solder's birthday. I think he turned 29, if I remember right. So, happy birthday, Jim.
Happy birthday, Vice Chairman Solder. Just a couple comments from me. I visited the vaccination clinic at the Coliseum today. I will tell you they are well equipped, very organized, and right now it is a matter, as Chairman Schaefer said, a matter of getting the vaccine in. And there's going to be an onslaught, obviously, when we move to the next phase of 1B. But we must remember that many members of the public do not understand this. Please help us by being good ambassadors for our health department and answering as many questions as you can. I will tell you, that we will help in any way that we can. As Chairman Schaefer said, since the pandemic began and we had the proclamation, there has been the Emergency Management Agency operating, which is Emergency Operations Center, and there's calls every week run by our Emergency Management Center, which includes a lot of people in this community, all the way from hospital officials to school officials to social service people. Wednesday's call yesterday had 27 members on the call where information is given out. One of our county board members has been participating in this since the beginning back in March, and that's Member Martin. I want to thank Member Martin for what he does. He also can share information with you at any time. He reports for OSF system and gives us up-to-date information every week. Also, as part of our emergency operation and proclamation, as I've told you in the past, there is a executive policy group, which I am chairman of, which includes county officials who are involved with everything from healthcare to law enforcement. So we do meet, when I say meet, virtually with phone conferences, and that includes our emergency management agency, our health director, and so we can keep up to speed as well. And then thank you, Member Schaefer, for representing us on the Board of Health and all that you've done. Having worked with Member Schaefer, she's got in a couple 12-hour days right now, getting ready to help in any way we can. There could be a time when we're going to ask you all for volunteers, and I would recommend until that time, if you will access as much information as you can by getting on the Illinois Department of Public Health website, which is updated daily, and our county health department website, or call me, or Member Schaefer, Member Martin, or our county administration with questions. It would be very helpful. We want to do everything we can to support our health department because it's very understandable that there are many members of the public who are just seeing parts of information come out and then are alarmed. Many people obviously have endured a long siege here of trying to follow and be safe, following safe practices of social distancing, washing hands, and so on. And different age groups and different groups of people have been exposed to different types of thinking on this. Our mental health calls through PATH have gone up significantly. We want to help support anybody that's working with anyone who has problems there. Obviously, everyone's anxious now to get the vaccine. As Member Schaefer said, we do not have control on that. It does come from the Illinois Department of Public Health. One other clarification, our long-term care facilities are getting vaccination and vaccines from our federal Department of Government directly to them. So that is different, and the numbers are different there. And they are administered, as you know now, by CVS and Walgreens. Again, there's misunderstanding at times. You can even help many of your constituents by having them understand that our county board is separate from the County Board of Health, and County Board of Health, who has 11 very capable members who are helping direct this whole process, by the way, in which we all voted and nominated and appointed at one time. We're serving and volunteering their time and working overtime as we get through this crisis. So I appreciate all we've done and all the work you've done. And please call if you have questions so we can all keep up to speed on what is going on. It is a rapidly changing scenario, and we'll work to try to all stay together and get through this. Does anyone else have any comments for tonight? If none, well, thank you very much. I will look forward to seeing you soon. Please call me if you have questions. Hope everybody can stay healthy, stay happy, and help other people the best you can. And this meeting's adjourned.